Morning, world. It's Thursday. It's 10 o'clock in the UK. That means it's time for Blabbing for Britain. I just happen to have one of our team members down in the... Well, I'll move him over here. This morning we're broadcasting... Well, it'll be a second. This morning we're broadcasting on my Facebook profile, on a live video with Stephen on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And without further ado, providing I get a thumbs up. Yeah, I've got a thumbs up. I'm going to take that off there to there. Morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just sorting things out. No sign of Peter yet. So it's just you and me on Blowing for Britain. And let's say welcome to the show. And this is Blabbing for Britain, episode 388, a weekly look at the news around the UK. What do you make of the jailbreak, John?
Of the
jailbreak?
Well, he showed his resourcefulness, didn't he, as a soldier hiding under the vehicle he was supposed to be in.
It's beyond belief, isn't it? I mean, there have been 5 escapes from prison since 2017, but he was in the wrong prison. He was on kitchen duty, which he shouldn't be. I mean, what? It's a catalogue of errors, isn't it?
Yeah. Who knows where it's going on. It's strange, though, how had he been around so long without getting a quicker trial for what he was doing? I mean, they weren't even going to start trial to the 13th of November.
Evidence gathering, I suppose. And then, of course, the thing is that the other services, apart from the prison service, decide to put their shoulders to the wheel and actually get things done, disrupting ports and airports. Yeah.
Crazy stuff, isn't it?
It is.
Why wasn't he in Colchester? In the army prison? They certainly wouldn't have let him escape from there, would they?
No.
He's a member of the armed forces, so it's like there's no reason why they couldn't put him in there.
Or in Belmarsh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, Royston Radio. It's just after 11 o'clock on Saturday. Welcome to Blabbing for Britain, episode 388, with myself and John and Peter. Possibly. We don't know.
We never know if he's going to turn up, do we? With me, it's as a parcel arrived just as we go live. But there aren't any due today, so we ain't going to get any of that, hopefully.
I've got one due. Amazon are making a delivery. It could be any time till before 10 o'clock. So that's 10 o'clock at 10 o'clock at night. And
so we had an Amazon delivery from Tom, my eldest, yesterday. And I was putting stuff in the boot of the car. So the lady handed it to me, and then she saw, I need to take a photo. So I gave it back. She leant it up against the wall at the bottom of the drive. Yeah. The drive's very big. And took a photo of it. Of course, Tom's at work. He gets a notification and he sees the photo of it leaning against the wall. So he rings me up in a panic. And I said, don't worry. She just handed it to me. And then realised she hadn't taken a photo. And then, so it's in the house, mate.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon are pretty good, aren't they? I mean, it has to be said. Reliable delivery. And they do take care when they're actually putting the packages wherever they leave them, normally in safe places. Yeah. Okay, so where do we go from there?
We could talk about Burnley Football Club.
No, we can't.
We didn't do much better this weekend either. So
no, we've lost 3, won 1. Our boss says don't worry, things will come good. And you've got to believe him after the season they had last year. But I think the thing is that the style of football they played in the Championship, it just isn't working in the Premiership. People have worked them out. So it's going to take a while. We used to say that Burnley don't start until after Christmas. I think that might be the case this year. As long as we get there.
It's not a proven thing with Sean. I mean, they certainly haven't started at Everton either.
No. The only person we can talk, well, the only person who's doing well is Mr. Moyes, who's having a stunning start to his West Ham season.
I think it was due to turn around, although there's still big arguments about whether he's really working with the sporting director or whatever he's called, the German, or not. But seems to be working for me.
Right. And Peter is out on the road, and Peter joins us in
his van.
Peter, there you are, in his van.
Hello. Hello.
We can only see 2/3 of your face.
Yeah, I know. Right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you, and we have a still picture.
Okay. I'm not on a not. Well, I went away without my laptop lead, I had to nip into Argos to get one. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here anyway. The battery might run out because I got a new charger thing, but it doesn't seem to be working. Hold on. The sun's right in my face. Hold on.
Okay. Whereabouts are you?
I've been on the road since I'm away. I'm down a place called Port Lethen in Aberdeen, Shire. And I've been out since 7 this morning.
Out on the road again?
On the road again.
Oh,
no, plugged in. Oh, that's fine. That's good. This is all you're going to get a myth.
Okay, just a photo and your voice.
Sorry?
A photo and your voice.
Okay, that'll have to do you today.
I've got an echo as well.
We're so busy. We're so busy.
That's good. Yeah. What do you think about the jailbreak, Peter?
It's just absolutely astounding. A place like... It just shows you what's happened to society. They're on about rehabilitation and everything, but life's become soft. How the heck did that happen? I'll tell you what, it probably is complacency and probably wokeness. Everybody's putting their guards down.
Yeah, but the job of a prisoner is to keep the prisoner secure. So first rule of prison is don't let anybody out. That seems to have
well, what's happened is they're prisoners. Let's be nice to them. It's fair enough, yeah. Let's rehabilitate them, right? Most of the prisoners go in, do what they're told. But you've got somebody like him, I don't know what Wandsworth is, but should he not have been in Belmarsh or something? Is that not the top security?
Yeah, that's right. He should have been in. Oh, we've lost Peter. This was going to happen. Peter's going to come and go. He's going to come and go.
White van man.
Yeah, out on the road. I mean, he's at the mercy of a 4G signal. Yeah. Okay. How are the government doing, John?
Which government?
I mean, it's
the
a
government
story.
In opposition or the government in place?
The government in waiting.
Well, the government in waiting they've had another reshuffle, haven't they?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, all they've got to do is not do anything wrong. Don't frighten the horses. And if they play it that way between now and the election, they think the election is either going to be in May next year or in October. Now, the thing about having an election next May is, of course, it's the council elections and the county council elections. And if the Tories get hammered in that, then that puts the mockers on October. So the logic at the moment is he's actually going to call an election in May, so that he gets the first bite at the cherry before it's gone sour. Yeah.
So what do you think about the concrete fiasco?
I am basically, if you put a material in and it's got a 30-year life, then you're going to expect it to fail 50 years later. So it's not surprising that it has happened, because it was never meant to last so long. The government have totally mishandled this. When the government minister said we should be getting praise for this, no, you could have handled it a lot better earlier in the year. I mean, they sent out the request for information to all the schools back in May, I think. And the obviously difficulty chasing up. Only 5% of the schools have not replied. And if we had a 95% response in anything we did, John, we'd be chuffed.
Yeah. Happy with the 2% response on some things.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. So apparently it has a 30-year lifespan, but is known to last twice that. But how can it last twice that? Because it hasn't been around for 60 years. So it hasn't affected any schools in Solihull at all. There's none on the master list. There are none in Solihull. Not even in the newer redeveloped schools, which are in the north of the borough, i.e. formerly known as Chelmsley Wood, formerly a district of Birmingham, where Birmingham shoved all its bad payers in 1972, and then in 1974 gifted it to Solihull. But there is in the centre of Solihull, there's a place called the Core.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Core is a theatre. Yeah, small theatre, owned by the council, run by the council, with a wide variety of things going on there, from plays to tribute acts and those sort of things. And that's suddenly being closed because that has this aero bar concrete, shall we call it. But suddenly people are going, hang on a minute, that is part of the library. Does that mean the library's dangerous?
It could be connected. I mean, the thing that astonishes me, given this age of data, where data is important, is that they don't know what materials were used in building a property. Yeah, there should be, to my mind, a central register of all buildings in the UK and the materials used to build them, so that when a problem occurs, you can highlight straight away everywhere that's involved. Now, obviously, that is a mammoth task to undertake retrospectively, but I think going forward, it would make sense to know which materials were used in which buildings.
But there must be some documentation, because you've got to submit quite a lot of documentation to get planning.
Yeah, well, you've got to have materials.
Then you have to comply with building regs, which is what I'm going to say, which is probably the bit where you specify what materials you're using.
Yeah. So the information is there. It just needs somebody in government, or you could do it on a town by town basis. Long-term project, not necessarily going to be done this year, but it's there to do, and that would solve all problems, because then you wouldn't have to do surveys. I mean, actually, the schools can't reply because they can't get hold of somebody to actually survey the property. It's not that the schools are late or ignoring it. I mean, some schools are actually not the responsibility of the local council. Yeah.
Well, Lisa, we have quite a few of these trust-based things in the Midlands. where they aren't part of the council any longer. They've opted out. And
the school is rented in
yeah.
some instances.
But then if they're the landlord, though, surely they must be responsible as the landlord. But anyway, it's crazy stuff, you know?
Indeed. And no end in sight. And more message from Peter. And we'll bring that on screen.
Run out of battery. You can see now Peter going, I'm freezing because his battery's run out. So apparently, anyway, it's the rebar that causes the problem with this concrete because it rusts, and the rust then expands the rebar, which cracks the aero bar.
Yes. Yeah.
So
So
I wonder if a toffee aero with caramel in the middle will that break because it freezes and expands? It goes solid and expands. Anyway,
so effectively, it was designed to fail. If you've got metal wrapped in concrete and the concrete gets damp or wet, then the metal's going to rust, as you said. Designed to fail. Peter, I hope if you're still watching, I don't know how he's watching actually, if his battery's gone. Hope you get back to base and get the phone recharged. That can happen to any of us, to actually go out with the phone not recharged. I mean, I went out yesterday without my phone because I forgot to recharge it. And it's now saying, just a minute, what percentage is it? I need my glasses. It's now 66%, which will semi fine over lunchtime, which is good. I'll go here and go here. And at the moment, it's 23 degrees outside, John.
Mine charges to 80% in 20 minutes from zero. Because I've got this great big fat 80-watt charger.
Yeah.
And in the car, I made a small investment earlier in the year in a 30-watt charger that plugs into the cigarette lighter. So I keep that in the car with a lead, and when I get in the car, I just plug it in, even if it doesn't need charging. It's just habit now. I plug it in so that I'm charged wherever I go.
Peter, if you're listening, that would appear to be the ideal solution, low cost for your problems today, to recharge in the car.
It's like, while we're still on the topic of mobiles, I've got a cheapo Tab 11 and that I've had for getting on for 2 years that had a Virgin Mobile SIM in it, but Virgin Mobile wanted to transfer it to O2 and start a new contract, and they wanted £25 a month. Now, admitted that was for unlimited data, but I told them to get lost and to cancel it because it was originally on my Virgin contract, my TV and broadband contract, and I've gone to Smarty, with the girl that rides around on her roller skates, and knocks people over. And for £8 a month, I've got unlimited calls, unlimited texts, and 40 gig of data. Now, looking at my usage, it's going to be more than sufficient because my mobile data usage was like 11 gig a month, even though I had unlimited. So it seems really fast as well, because at the end of the day, it's really the 3 network, because Smarty is actually owned by Hutchinson's, who own 3. And so that's one saving of money, because I'm paying £8 a month, and it's 30 and it's a rolling monthly contract, so I'm not tied into anything long term. And then this week I had to renew my house insurance, buildings and contents insurance.
Mhm.
And I'd had my quote from Aviva, and it had gone up it went up from 380 to 465 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, look at that. So I shopped around,
Mhm.
and I've eventually got better cover, more cover, unlimited contents, unlimited buildings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better, but generally better bits and pieces for £396. Then you can say, well, how's that odd? Well, the problem is that no, not the problem. The reality is I got this cover from Quote Me Happy,
Ah.
which is Aviva by another name.
What a crazy world we live in.
Yeah.
What a
And it's
crazy
the
world we live in.
same with car insurance. Phil took delivery of his new car last week, end of last week. It's not brand new, but 69 plate titanium X Focus, it's absolutely gorgeous. Way better than the old 11 plate that he had before. And again, it's the ring around, see where you can go. And guess who undercut everybody else? Quote Me Happy.
Ah, right. So
And that's the
good.
reason I went to get a quote for Quote Me Happy, because Phil had said how cheap it was compared with everybody else. And it's Aviva. So it's not going to disappear tomorrow.
No. So quote me happy.
QuoteMeHappy.com. Yeah.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah. Would you like to share the page with us?
I don't have it open anywhere
Okay.
now.
No
To
worries.
be honest with you, I also went through comparethemarket.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which showed me, I mean, I could have saved another £100, but wouldn't have got the same level of cover. Yeah. So 75k of buildings and 50k from MBNA. Yeah. But to me, just a bit close to the edge, but was only £294. So it's whatever you want, shop around and what you feel comfortable with, I think, more than anything. And this Quote Me Happy is obviously de facto 5-star, just like Aviva's de facto 5-star. So it was an experience, because I went back to got these quotes and everything. I went back to Aviva and said, yeah, you'll have to sharpen your pencil if you want to keep me. And they said, we don't price match. And I said, okay, you just lost a customer. Bye.
Yeah. Well, they know they run the risk, but if you're going from one of their companies to another of their companies, I suppose it's not as bad as going to competition.
No. Well, we have to wait and see. I mean, Aviva, so you've got discount because you've got your pension fund with us. You've got discount because you're a long-term customer. You've got discount because you haven't claimed. And yet they were still more expensive than going to another division of their company by scratch, as complete scratch unknown person.
Yeah. Right. Are you still using Twitter, John?
I haven't used X for a long time.
No, I this last week I thought, well, I haven't used it, so I've deleted it from the iPad. I've deleted it from mobile phone, and it's lost its allure, hasn't it?
Yeah, but Facebook's not far behind.
Well,
And
I know
Instagram is just boring these days.
Yeah, the
And
best network.
TikTok keeps sending me millions of notifications, and that will be the next thing that goes into the bin.
Right.
Or
Okay.
Phil, talking of flat phones, Phil's phone was flat, so he borrowed mine. He put WhatsApp on, which I deleted previously, because he wanted to send himself something that was on my phone. And guess what? Bloody WhatsApp drove me mad for 3 days. Bye. It's gone again.
Yeah.
It's just people if you've never heard of you know, you think of on the Third Rock from the Sun, great TV program that was, are just sending you things, and you think, what I want to know about that for, you know?
Yeah.
So that's gone.
Captive audience. Yeah.
How you getting on with the other thing?
Threads.
Sorry, Threads. Yeah.
Threads is absolutely brilliant. You've got the top UK journalists on there. You've got American journalists on there as well. It's a great source of news because as soon as something happens, you get on there. All our UK, well, a great number of our UK brands are on there, and they basically bait each other every single day on a different topic. So you've got, it's just a pleasant place to be. There is, well, first of all, there is no right wing on there. I don't know where they've gone, but they haven't managed to have to Threads. So what you have is Liberals and Labour. You don't have any right wingers on there, which makes it peaceful and positive. And everybody supporting each other. You've got the unions on there, GMB's on there. So it's a great mix of discussions and news and people talking to each other. I post more, I comment more on Threads than I do anywhere else. Yeah, so it's on my iPad, it's on my desktop now. There's now a desktop version, which makes it more accessible to everybody. The only thing that's, well, we're waiting for search. Search is being tested in Australia and New Zealand at the moment. As soon as we get that, then it's a pucker social network with the right group of people in there. So yes, I can thoroughly recommend it. If you want to hear the good news and what's going on, then hop over to Threads.
I mean, I'm on it, but I haven't really done anything with it because I've been quite busy of recent. So not necessarily work-wise, but just a variety of things.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up and do a broadcast about it on Monday. Now it's got the desktop version. It's a lot easier to actually show people, because before I had to use Let's View to get my mobile phone on the desktop. Now I can just do a share screen, which makes it a lot easier. So I'm looking forward to doing that on Monday and telling people all about Threads and why you should actually be there. Good stuff. Friendly place. Normal people. No right wing gear. Yes, and that's what I need in my newsfeed. I don't want. Yeah, okay. I'm happy, and so are millions of other people. It has dropped off since the early days, but it will come back. I mean, people are waiting for the desktop version. People are waiting for search, and as soon as those are in place, I'm sure it will carry on. Fingers crossed that in 6 months' time we can still be talking about it, John. That would be good.
Still there then?
That's what I'm talking about. Because when you get Facebook and to a larger extent Google try something, it doesn't work, they just switch it off. So my hope is that threads.com is around for many a month to come. It'll be good. Okay. Right, I did a broadcast last week, as I do for, if I put it up on screen, I did a broadcast last week comparing OneStream Live with Video Ninja. It's on YouTube on the OneStream Live channel, and it's also splattered all over my social media, because right after the broadcast, I go out at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. At 7 o'clock, I send it to all my social media destinations using OneStream Live itself. So I'm quite enjoying doing that. I'm just waiting for my topics for September. So that is going well. So I think in general, live video is going well. Yeah. And it's not as big as it used to be. I mean, if we go back to when Facebook Live started, it was a totally different thing. But it's settling in. And it's good to do. I enjoy doing it. As simple as that. And we did a show which was absolute fun on Monday, which was over on Amazon Live, and that was myself, Marco Novo, and Nick Wood, 300 show, and we went live on my profile, on Nick's profile, and on Marco's profile all at the same time. Courtesy of StreamYard. So it was one stream going to 3 different places, different audiences. And it's just such fun to actually do it. And we're doing it again next Monday. We'll be live again everywhere. And we're just enjoying it. We're trying it out through September. I mean, what we're actually doing is looking for brand sponsorship. So if you know any brands who would like to be broadcast on Amazon, let me know. Yeah. I mean, we did try with Soundpeats, who do audio equipment. We did it last week, but they've got 20 million customers. So they don't need, well, they are marketing. I mean, it's it's an amazing setup. These earbuds, which I'm not advertising, by the way, are $69.95, and they're hi-fi. And basically what Soundpeats do is 2 things. One, the audio is high quality, and the second is they compete on price, and they compete with themselves on price. So I can give discounts. You can get discounts when you go to the page. Yeah, I mean, the price changes every single day. So you have it. Yes. Okay, right, let's go back to the news, see if there's anything interesting happening. Escape prisoner, we've covered that. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else going on, John.
Yeah. Don't know really.
Parliament's only just gone back, so we've only had 3 days of Parliament, so there's nothing much happening Parliament-wise. How are Villa doing?
Moderate.
Right.
They're still in the top 10, but only just.
That's better than Burnley.
Yeah.
Well, if you can stay in the top 10, that's a win, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Right, I've got the dentist at 11:45. I don't want to go.
I don't like going to the dentist. He has been moaning at me, I guess, for about 12 months that I grind my teeth at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he convinced me that I should have a mouth guard made that, fits on your top teeth.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And then, and trying to get to sleep in it is like, no. So I think we're going to have words about, did I wisely spend £80 on this guard? And he'll just say, you need to persist with it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I wonder if he knows what it feels like. I mean, these things get prescribed.
It's like, got something large in it, all on your teeth,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't weigh anything really. It's just different,
Yeah. I mean, we're very fortunate to have the NHS and NHS dentists and free treatment if you're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, you can't get that around here anywhere.
No.
If you want dental treatment, you have to go private. You can't find an NHS dentist for love nor money.
Well, I was fortunate. The government did a scheme last year, and 3 years ago, and I applied straight away and I got in. So I pay for series of treatment. I pay £67. which is neither here nor there in the grand scheme of things. And I've got the hygienist today. I've got 2 teeth coming out in 2 weeks' time.
Oh,
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So no, we don't like the dentist from when we were young, I think, because when we were young, there were no local injections. It was gas, and that, you know, you went to the dentist, you were in the
I
chair.
can still smell that rubber mask.
Yeah, with the mask on. I mean, that enough to put anybody off, and it did. Yeah, because our dentist, this is no word of a lie, our dentist was Dr. Hackett, and that didn't give you great confidence to begin with. And Mum used to take us to the dentist and say, right, do as you're told. So we did. But I mean, but today things have changed, and in pain wise, it's pretty painless to actually go to the dentist. The only problem is your mind.
I don't enjoy the flipping needle going in, you know.
Yeah, well,
and then 4 hours for the damn stuff to wear off.
Yeah, yeah, which is why I won't be broadcasting. Well, I'll be broadcasting in the morning to take my mind off it, and then I won't be broadcasting in the afternoon while it all wears off. So, yeah, but we are fortunate. I mean, looking at people in the States, they've got to pay thousands of dollars, yeah, for something that
money. And I pay £11 a month, yeah, every month, and then that entitles me to 2 hygienist things a year and 2 inspections and 2 lots of X-rays every year. So you get quite a bit for your money.
Oh, yeah.
But then, and when you get 10% off treatments.
Right. I'm now bionic. I've got a loop fitted, which sends information about my heart over to Bristol, and I'm as long as I've got the phone on, then I'm monitored continuously, because every few minutes it sends information off to Bristol. So that's reassuring. It's just, you've got to accept it's one of those things, and it will prove if anything goes wrong, then I just press this button here. Reminds me, I've got to start carrying this with me now because it's only just been activated. If I press this button here, it will send 8 minutes, the last 8 minutes worth of data directly to Bristol. Yeah. So if I've got a problem, I just press this button. Now it doesn't bring any assistance at the time, but the information as to regards to why I got the problem, what was happening with my heart at the time, goes to Bristol, and they can do a retrospective diagnosis. Bionic.
You haven't got anything that restarts you or anything like that yet, then?
No. I mean, the whole cause of the episode on the 29th of July was diabetes. It's just spiked. Yeah, I mean, when I told you the numbers last week, and Peter said, I don't recognize those numbers as being part of the scale. They weren't. They were totally off the scale. And now, fingers crossed, I've got everything under control, and we've changed everything we eat, and I'm walking 3 miles a day. So it shouldn't, well, in my mind, I mean, the thing about all this is confidence. And I'm confident now that I'm getting stronger every day, and it won't recur because the circumstances won't recur. And this Saturday is my first park run back. So I haven't park run since the 29th of July. I'm park running this weekend, but I'm not running. I mean, we're over in Melksham, King George V Park, and 150 people will be there. Most of them will be running, and some of them can actually run the 5-kilometer course in 18 minutes, which takes some doing. Angelica can do it in under 45, and I'll be there, and I'll have a time, hopefully, fingers crossed, around about 54, because I'm just going to walk fast. I'm not running. I'm looking forward to that because I missed it. Yeah, because we go together. and I don't mind Angelica beating me. Oh, she always has. So that's not a difference. It's just a question of how much by. But it's just a great way because we've made friends over there, and we all help and support each other. We're all on Strava. We do a walk or a run in the week. Yeah, I might get back to running, but for the moment, I'm just going to, as they say, John, one step at a time.
I've ordered myself a pedometer thing, so I'm waiting for that. See if that happens.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I've been checking it on this phone, yeah, but I don't believe the steps thing is very accurate, particularly as I constantly forget to put it in my pocket and then walk all the way, walk all the way. I've started parking further away from the entrance of a store, and I've probably walked around the store, supermarket twice.
Yeah.
In the increasing my steps fitness thing. And it's not very good if you do that and then suddenly realise when you get back to the car that the phone's still plugged in. So I've only a cheapo thing, not a Fitbit. I couldn't justify a Fitbit at the moment and trying to buy a few other things. So, but I'm sure it's going to turn out to be a cheap Chinese thing. It hasn't arrived yet, so I'm still waiting for it.
Every step is a step forward, John. Yeah. I mean, we've had Fitbits for the last 8 years, his and hers Fitbits, and it's changed everything. All good. Yes. Okay. Let's go to the news again, see if anything cropped up whilst we've been live. As I say, it's not a busy time of the year. Oh, yes. Discover. This is something we've talked about in the past. And we said it was a great shame that because of Brexit and leaving the EU, our scientific community were no longer part of Discover.
And they've gone back, haven't they?
Today, yes. Yeah. The Prime Minister proudly announced some positive news and said that we're now back in, which is brilliant news because basically it's inward investment, it's research where you're cooperating with your European partners, as it were. It's all good news. I mean, there's nothing bad about it, and it will help our industry. It will help our research, and we can play our full part in Europe again as far as research is concerned. Question is, why can't they make an agreement about everything else?
So the other thing I've noticed on the news this morning is Ken Dodd's widow has ignored his instructions to burn all his notebooks. And he's actually lent them out to an exhibition. He kept, over his 7-decade career, he kept notebooks full of jokes. And he told her when he died that she was to burn them. But she thought they were too important, and now they're featured in a big exhibition. So that's quite interesting.
It is. I think she did well. I think she's done, on balance, a thing which benefits everybody. And, I mean, we remember him, but in future generations, I mean, it's a great resource. Yeah. I mean, Bob Monkhouse used to keep joke books, didn't he? Stories. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good news. Okay. Okay.
Well, we got 15 minutes to fill.
Yeah, I'm trying. Basically,
we're missing 15 minutes of Peter rants. That's the problem, isn't it?
That's Peter's bit. It's a slow day today. That's Peter's bit. Yeah. The next thing is Ukraine. The Americans. Another $1 billion worth of equipment, 700 million of which is weapons. And then, according to the newspapers, North Korea and Russia are meeting at the moment with the view to North Korea supplying weapons to the Russians. Given that they're both against the West, I can see common ground between them, but they're totally different states. And you've got to hope that we don't get an arms race, and that China stay out of it, and North Korea don't reach an agreement with Russia. That's my two cents. Yeah. Okay, so all right. Where?
Chester Zoo. Have you ever been there?
Oh yeah. Remember, I'm from up north.
In Upton.
Chester's up north.
It's in Upton, Chester Zoo. They've announced the birth of an I can't pronounce the word now. Orangutan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A Bornean orangutan, highly threatened species, and very rare that they are ever reproduced in captivity. So another feather in their cap. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a smashing zoo. Sometime in the near future, I'm hoping to take Dottie up there.
Oh, right. Okay. We know somebody who works there. You and I.
All right.
From the 2005s. Dorothy, I don't know. It's spooky, isn't it? Dorothy is a part-time keeper there, and she posts photos quite regularly of the animals at Chester Zoo. If I can remember her name, John, or if I see a post, I'll share it with you.
The thing is, it's so long since Black Star and all those other things. Can't remember who half of them are. And then they pop up and they say, oh, yeah, I saw the Powers the other day. Wasn't it wonderful? And I think, oh, aren't they in obscurity these days, the Powers?
No, they're not. They're William Buste runs a group with all the Black Stars in. They're still live and kicking. And Penny and Thomas have meetings in London, which combine a lunch with a meeting. And they've been running that for several years now. Yeah.
I don't really come across them. I see their posts occasionally on Facebook.
Yeah.
I see that they've been touring around Europe in a camper van.
Yeah. Yeah. They have telling their story.
You know, they did one good thing. I would never have met you if it wasn't for them. So
yeah, there is. That's true. That's a result of Academy, the world's first social network. We should call it that, really. The world's first social network. Not that it's going to bring it back. Okay, and talking of things of the past, Empire Cred, the end of this month, is gone.
Oh, I haven't been. It's got to be 12 months since I last went on Empire Cred. It won't let me log in, so I stopped trying to log in.
Yeah, I mean, Empire Cred is a game we used to play every day.
Yeah.
We met many people over the years over there, but it changed hands, and yeah, I think they've given up on it because they're not making money at it, so it closes. And there have been rescue attempts, but again, if the current owners can't make money and you're starting from scratch, inheriting the code and the website, you've got to make a huge investment. Programming skills alone, you're talking north of 100,000 a year, yeah, just to keep it ticking over. So
it's enjoy going on and making investments, shall we say, in people,
yeah.
But
Angelica still runs missions, yeah, to her blog posts, and people take the mission and go and look and read Angelica's blog posts. So the mechanics are still there. The working part still works, but it's a drain. Yeah, because after, the problem with most things, and this is why Facebook and YouTube have made changes as well. Not that they've told us directly, but there is a problem that if you've been going for years, you're actually storing our data for free for years. And if we made a video 6 years ago and it was 720p high definition, why should you continue to pay the storage costs for a high definition video? So what Facebook have been doing is they've been dialing back. And if you go to one of your old videos, you're more likely to find it in 380 than any. In other words, they're reducing their storage requirements by degrading the video. And it's unlikely, you're not going to go back and look at a video from 10 years ago every day. So people don't look back, people just look forward. And that's what they're counting on. So if you're thinking that your videos over the years are stored perfectly on Facebook or YouTube, that's not necessarily true. They've been downgraded, lower quality, and if you were to download them now, you'll most certainly be disappointed. And it's just finance. Yeah, I mean, I've been broadcasting now for 8 years, and an average, well, I've done thousands of broadcasts, and they're all somewhere. They're all stored somewhere. They're not on my hard drive, that's for sure. I'm not storing them. Some of them, the ones I want to repurpose, I do, but I don't ordinarily download video. If I go live on YouTube or I go live on Facebook, it just stays there. Yeah? And that's the permanent record. So if somebody says, where are your videos? If somebody said to me, right, okay, we're interested in Blabbing for Britain, can we watch the last 2 years' episodes? I could turn around and say, yes, you can, because I've done it. There is a page with all our videos on it. It actually goes back 3 years, but they're all on YouTube. Yeah, they're not stored anywhere near your machine or my machine. YouTube providing it for free, and if you go back, as I say, the quality has been downgraded, and that's.
But think what it was like when we started all those many moons ago.
Mm.
Is that Peter? Is that Stephen rather? Is that because it was pretty rubbish, yeah.
Well, everything starts somewhere, and we look back on it fondly, even if it was rubbish. It was our rubbish. Yeah. The quality just keeps improving, but as I say, Facebook and YouTube are downgrading video, so don't expect to go to a video that's 8 years old and download it and it'd be pristine condition, which is fair. Okay. Right, so I've got a park run on Saturday. What have you got going on this weekend, John?
The annual general meeting of the Allotment Association on Saturday. I know there's probably going to be a bit of controversy because we've upset one of the plot holders.
Yeah.
And the council have evicted another plot holder, but he's still using his plot. So it's going to be quite an interesting weekend. I don't even know if I'll get voted back in as chairman. I think there's a pretty good chance because I'm the only person who's put themselves up to be chairman.
Right. Okay.
The same with our secretary. Karen is also the only person who's put themselves up to be there. And the same applies to the treasurer position. Those three positions are controlled by the council in to say that they're the only people who have any ability to deal with the council. Anyone else is there. There will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, another 7 committee members. And our constitution allows for 11 committee members.
Right.
So hopefully we'll all get sorted in the wash. And because they says it's going to be the hottest day in the year on Saturday, we're holding it at 11 in the morning. I said we've got our thing wrong. We should have worked out what time would be the hottest. Yeah, and then the moanings, people wouldn't have turned up if we'd have held it at the hottest time of the day. But we're going for 11 o'clock.
Yeah. The
So
hottest
I have a
time.
job today, an exciting job. We have a whole load of plastic chairs, garden chairs, because we're going to need them, yeah, for people to sit on, because we're holding it outside. So
Wow.
I've got to power wash all the chairs today because the building they're stored in
You've
falling
got
apart,
fine.
and they're all covered in brick dust and stuff.
You've got fine weather for it, John. The hottest time of the day is always 4 o'clock. You'll find the temperature builds up to 4 o'clock, then it starts going down again. And if you look at your BBC weather, or if you look at any other AccuWeather, you'll find that is true. So 4 o'clock is the hottest. It didn't used to be. Yeah, I mean, you've got
midday, really. You know, that's gone.
You've got the saying, mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Well, it's not the midday sun anymore. It's the 4 o'clock sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Changed over the years. Okay. Well, Peter.
Other thing I've been doing is I've been building very deep raised beds. So I've built three lots of raised beds that are 42 centimeters deep, which doesn't sound much, but it's 14.5 inches in English money, which is quite deep because most people's raised beds are only about 8 inches. And it just means I can put things in that need deeper roots.
Right. Gotcha.
And I built 3 of those. You don't half realise how much flipping soil you got to put in the damn thing. I've only filled one of them up so far, and that's. And I'm riddling all the soil to make sure there's not much in the way of stones and weeds in it.
Yeah.
But earlier in the year, I bought myself a machine off eBay from Martin's Bargains, and Martin spelled Y, where you basically have a hopper and you turn a handle and it's got some bars in it, and the good stuff falls out the front, the bad stuff stays in. You undo a clip, open the back, and pull the rubbish out and drop it into a wheelbarrow. So you have 2 wheelbarrows, and I'll tell you what, it is so much easier than shaky. But you really get bored of it after a while of turning the handle. So you have to have something else to do at the same time to keep your brain active. Yeah.
Right. I don't need to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. John, it's over to you.
So from here in Solihull and from down there in darkest, deepest Wiltshire at the wonderful canal town of Devizes, it's goodbye from Stephen, it's goodbye from me, and somewhere around the Aberdeen area is the man in a white van who'd normally be with us too. So it's goodbye from him too. Same time, same place next week. Bye.
Bye.